This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times, Friday, November 27th, 2014. Pollution, politics and pollution. I would put a third word in there, pollution. Politics, pollution, and poverty. But Dr. Krugman starts off basically questioning why is it that at this particular point in time only one particular party seems to be interested in pollution control, global warming, etc. And he even went back that there was research back in the early 90s that both the Republicans and the Democrats thought that reducing pollution was a good thing to be doing. And that at that particular point in time that the heavy polluters, let's just say the oil and coal companies, were investing money, if you want to use the term investing, in terms of providing money to Democrats and Republicans, more so to Republicans, but there was a fair amount to Democrats, whereas right now those pollution companies, coal and oil, are about 95% putting money to Republicans and about 5% putting it to Democrats. So Dr. Krugman has asked me, why is it that there's been such a radical shift in the way the political parties look at pollution and pollution control? Now, I'll get into the answers to that in a minute. I just want to go back. He does talk about how, you know, the Clean Air or Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act was initially, the EPA got started, the Nixon administration, Clean Water Act, etc., was overwhelmingly voted by the Senate 73-0 back in 1973. It sort of calls into question some of the things that I like here from Mark Rubio and I guess Mitch McConnell. Those are the only two that I've said it, but I'm sure that plenty of other Republican senators have said it. When they asked them about global warming, etc., they say, I'm not a scientist. Well, back in 1973, there were plenty of Republicans who voted for the Clean Water Act, and they weren't scientists either. But they were smart enough to know that there was a certain amount of research. We knew that there was a tremendous amount of pollution due to lead in cars, which we got rid of in around 76, 77. And Lake Erie went on fire. We knew that there was terrible, terrible problems in the lakes because we just over-polluted them. And even Republicans back at that time knew that the government had to take an active and a leading hand in accomplishing the goal of reducing pollution throughout the United States. And let's just start with the water pollution, Lake Erie, etc. So that was good. That was the right thing to do. But where are we right now? We're at a completely opposite spectrum, where basically the heavy polluters have bought the Republican Party lock, stock, and barrel. And it's seeming, and of course there's always some blue dog Democrats or whatever who's willing to go along for the fray because they want to continue to get elected. So they're Democrat in name only, Dinos. But the point is, why has it been like that? And what has caused that? It's just the tremendous amount of money that is in politics, the tremendous amount of money that is necessary to run a political campaign, and the tremendous amount of money that an elected official must get to run an active campaign, and not only on top of that, the amount of time that is required to talk to all those people, to get all of those endorsements, and to cover all of the asses of all of these people who are giving them money because they want their industry protected. And that's a really, really terrible thing. And who gets the shaft on that? The people who don't have nearly as much money. And where are major oil refineries and chemical refineries and other places located? Well, a lot of them are located. Well, a lot of the residential areas near those places are where poor people live. So they're the ones that suffer from it. And of course, Dr. Krugman started out by saying that the EPA was going to do some ozone regulation or something in terms of reducing something that would decrease asthma, heart conditions, breathing problems, etc. And of course, the Republicans said, oh, no, this is terrible, this is a job killer, this is going to hurt industry. And of course, Dr. Krugman brings up another great point, is that industries have come kicking and screaming for the last 100 years that this industry is going to die, this industry is going to die, the country's going to go to hell if any of these things are implemented. And of course, they've all been implemented, and they save lives, they make things better, and the cost is passed on to the consumer. It's not cost nearly as much money. You know, think of the safety that's involved in a car now as compared to the 1950s. Just incredible, you know, and et cetera, all the way along. So we know what is causing asthma, what is causing heart conditions in people because of so much, because of the amount of pollution that's in the air. We know that, and Republicans aren't stupid. They know that. They're not scientists, but they know what's really going on. You know, they're in their own echo chamber. They know they only have to play to their base. They know that they can play in that closed loop circuit the entire time, and they'll never get rattled for it. But they're not stupid. They know that there will be a day of reckoning, but they need to get elected next time, and that's going to come before the day of reckoning. So as long as it comes before the day of reckoning, they can go ahead and do their denial act as much as they want. But there is continuing to be a day of reckoning. It's coming faster than a lot of us think. A lot of things need to change. Marco Rubio, what is it, 5-10% of Florida is only 3 meters above sea level. That could change. That could be underwater in a very, very short period of time. And we have to do the things that are necessary. We know what to do. We can do it. Will it take some effort? It will take some effort. But when you have people like the Koch brothers, when you have chemical companies, and they don't care about the pollution that they cause. They don't care about the lives that that can be harmed. They need to make their profits because that's the only way they can make their profits. And the government is there as the last resort to protect the people from these things. And the chemical companies will comply. They'll comply with what needs to be done, you know. But we have to have rigorous follow-up. We have to have rigorous inspection. But they will comply. But everyone has to be behind this. You know, and this will not only will it make things cleaner, safer, but will be more productive because we won't have so much time lost close to asthma and things like that. So again, it's not only politics, it's not only pollution, but it's poverty, because that top 1% is trying to buy their way out of. And he brings out the most important thing is that even though we all breathe the same air, that top 1% has most of the investments. They have plenty of investments in these types of industries that cause a great deal of pollution. And the way I look at it, and I'm just my standpoint alone, everything that's made at some point in time in the future, and so what we need to start doing it now, everything that's made is going to include in its cost or include in its life cycle every aspect in terms of so that whatever energy was expanded to get it going, as much of it as possible can be replaced when that thing is taken out of commission and can be recycled into something else. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're going to have to pay for a lot of pollution that was caused a lot of years ago where we didn't take care of things, but that's the way it's got to be. We've got to move forward. We've got to make this a better planet. We're all in this, so we're all in this together.